The Steelers' 2022 schedule is out. In a moment, we're going to go game by game, previewing everything for the Steelers this year. Before we do that, though, I want you guys to predict the Steelers' record this season. You can go full homer if you want to, 17-0. It's going to be the pinned comment on today's video, so head down there, that pinned comment, and get your predictions in. You're watching Pittsburgh Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, and we have the official Steelers 2022 NFL schedule. We'll go through it one-time overview, then a little bit more in-depth on each of those games, and here it is. Week 1 at the Cincinnati Bengals, a chance to prove to DJ Reader that the division does not run through Cincinnati. Week 2, home against the New England Patriots. Then the first of the known primetime games here for the Steelers, Thursday Night Football at the Cleveland Browns. Week 4, home against the lowly New York Jets. Then they continue their early AFC East opponent stretch. Week 5 at the Buffalo Bills, home against Tampa. As a reminder, the Steelers never have to travel all that far. In fact, they don't leave the Eastern time zone at any point in this year's schedule, which is pretty cool for the Steelers. At the Dolphins in Week 17, and then at Philadelphia in Week 8. Week 9, right smack dab in the middle, it's the bye for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Home against the New Orleans Saints in Week 10, and then back-to-back primetime football games. Week 11, home against the Bengals on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, the Bengals are in prime time quite a bit this year. Fascinating, right? Week 12 against Matt Ryan and the Colts on the road in Monday Night Football. So decent timing there. I like going Sunday Night Football to have an extra day of rest. That's beneficial for the Steelers. Well, they do go then on the road in Week 13, but it's against the Falcons. They shouldn't be that good this year. Week 14 is home against the Baltimore Ravens, the first time those two teams play. Week 15 at the Carolina Panthers, so the NFC South is terrible this year outside of one team. Week 16, home against the Las Vegas Raiders. Then they wrap up with two conference or division foes, I should say, at the Baltimore Ravens. So two late game schedules there. And then finally again against the Cleveland Browns at home in Week 18. Those last three games are going to have massive playoff implications. We here at Steelers Talk are trying to get to 14,000 subscribers. A ton of new subs here. We appreciate that oh so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe because you get daily Steelers coverage. It's all free, by the way, which is pretty awesome. You don't have to pay a subscription or anything. We got news, rumors, breaking news, draft, free agency, trade coverage, all of it right here on Steelers Talk. So if you have not already, take advantage of the upcoming YouTube ad break. Head down there and subscribe, that big red button right now. Let's look now to a bit more in-depth overview here. That Week 1 matchup at the Bengals, fascinating game. We'll see if the Bengals are coming off their Super Bowl loss hangover, which we know happens oh so much. Week 3, then we'll come back to the other games here. Thursday Night Football, primetime football at the Cleveland Browns. It remains to be seen whether or not they will have, the Browns I should say, have Deshaun Watson. There could be a 6-game suspension or more or less, or who knows. The NFL rules and institutions and discipline measures are all over the place, so it is what it is there. No Deshaun Watson. Pittsburgh has a great chance to potentially steal a win over a team that many think could win the division this year. Week 2 against the Patriots, given the way that as stacked as the AFC is, that game has major potential playoff and wild card implications. Week 4 against the Jets, that should be a win. In an ideal world, let's just say you lose against the Bengals. You beat the Patriots, you beat the Jets, you want to win that game against the Browns. A 3-1 start is ideal for Pittsburgh. So who you got in that, I'd say, most noteworthy early season matchup? S for the Steelers or B for the Cleveland Browns? The next slate of 4 games at the Buffalo Bills. Again, this is a tough opening stretch for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to happen. All the AFC teams, unless you are like the best of the best, which like one or two teams, maybe Buffalo in that conversation, it's a tough schedule this year. You're playing a lot of difficult games. Tampa, that's a brutal one as well in Week 6. A potential chance to give Tom Brady a loss in what could be his final season. That is the noteworthy matchup in Week 16. Pittsburgh is at home in that game. The saga of Tom Brady maybe will end up being a farewell tour. He's already signed a massive deal with Fox to be it's weird. Whatever. Brady can get out of here. I'm over Brady. Hope Pittsburgh wins that one. Week 7 at the Dolphins. They need to win that one. Pittsburgh does. That's a critical early season pivot game. You lose that one, major problems as it relates to the wild card seeding, although maybe you saw Tua's highlight throw. It's 50-yard comeback route. Yeah, that's what you want to have in your offense. At Philadelphia, by the way, which is not even really a road game. Like, I know it is technically, but like, take a bus if you need to. Like, it's pretty straightforward there. Not too difficult of a travel schedule this year for the Steelers. Now, if you want to bet on any of these games throughout the season, do it with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you guys see on screen. That is Steelers125. It'll give you a 125% deposit bonus when you put down at least $100. And if you want to bet on Pittsburgh to win the AFC North, the odds have never been better. We mentioned the Browns. They are the betting favorite right now. Ravens and Bengals narrowly behind them. No one believes in Pittsburgh. If you do, why don't you put your money where your mouth and faith is. Plus 750. $10 down. Massive return on your investment there. Do it with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is Steelers125. Did it right that time. Week 9 is the bye, by the way, which I love having a literal middle-of-the-season bye. You can't pick it any better. It's right smack dab in the middle. Get a nice even balance of rest before and after the bye. It's a good spot to have it. Week 10, home against the New Orleans Saints. I don't think they're that great. So I'm looking at the schedule, and I see a little stretch here, right? Dolphins, Eagles, Saints. You should be able to win some of those games as the schedule gets tougher again in prime time. Bengals and Colts. Again, how many times have I said today, potential playoff team on the Steelers schedule? It is not easy, but it does get a little bit easier once you get past those two primetime games. The Ravens are tough. Make no mistake about it, unless they are, once again cursed by injuries. Never cheer for them. Looking at you, Coop. Falcons, Week 13. That's a road game along with Carolina Panthers. Those are tough. But those are both winnable, maybe even expectations of winning those games. Having the NFC South as the crossover isn't that bad for the Steelers, as tough as the AFC is going to be this season. Now, when it comes to the division, who's the biggest threat? Which one are you most worried about winning the division this year? All three are legitimately valid answers. Who are you most concerned about? I think I'd go the Ravens myself. Super Bowl letdown for the Bengals, and the Browns tend to Browns things overall. But let me hear from you guys. Biggest threat in the AFC North. BAL for the Ravens, CLE for the Browns, or CIN for the Bengals. The rest of season schedule, the final 3 games. It's a home game against the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll see if they are good or not. They got a gauntlet in the AFC West. Thank God Pittsburgh does not play in that division. We'll get to the Browns in Week 18. But first, Week 17 at the Ravens. That is right. 2 late-season games against Baltimore. The tentative plan, I believe, is for this to be an afternoon game. I would not be surprised if this gets flexed into Sunday Night Football, because this game might have massive AFC North implications in terms of who wins it, who doesn't. The Steelers at the Ravens out in Baltimore. It's a 2 games in 4. Kind of not quite as extreme as what it was last year for these two teams, but they play each other a lot down the stretch. And the Steelers, as the NFL loves to do, end with a divisional rival, because they're hoping, fingers crossed, somehow they get a winner-take division title game to put into Sunday Night Football, which sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. Steelers-Browns, they go Week 3. Thursday Night Football, not again until the very last game of the year in Week 18. So that is the total run-through of the Steelers' schedule this year. If you haven't already, go reply to our pinned comment. Predict the Steelers' record this season. By the way, stick around, because in the near future, we will have a record prediction video for you guys here at Pittsburgh Steelers Talk. But we want to hear from you guys first and foremost. So head down there, pin comment, Predict the Steelers' record this year.